1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cosmic Closet Podcast. With me is Blaine.
Yes, hello everyone. We have a great episode today. We are joined by Reverend LJ. Reverend?
How you doing today? Glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I think it's going to be one of the more interesting shows we've had. I'm definitely very interested in the subject.
Same.
Yeah, it's something not very many people know anything about.
Yeah, it's hard to find
or
experts.
want to believe in, you know.
I've seen you have a website. Have you been on podcasts in the past?
I have. I was just on one, actually. What was the name of that thing? I talked to quite a few. I'm sorry.
Fine, no, it's fine.
It was a podcast for horror flicks.
Okay.
Slasher radio, that's what it was. That was the last one I was on.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah, if we want to just kind of get right into it, maybe if you want to just give us a brief background about kind of your life, your career.
Sure. I'll try to keep it brief. Okay, just as far as the Christian part, I've been in the church pretty much all my life. Grew up in it, drifted away for a short period, but I got back. I grew up in Montana, joined the U.S. Coast Guard, did a 20-year career in that. Got out, and I work for the Navy now, actually. This
really?
ministry, it's what pays the bills.
Right.
Because I don't charge for what I do. At least I try not to, unless it's traveling somewhere else that I just can't cover.
Right.
But I've been in studying demonology and dealing with this for about 30 some odd years.
Wow.
And it
That's
is a
incredible.
lifetime of study. It really is. You can't just jump into it and just be ready. You're never ready. I'll say that, but
Well, and I saw there's courses now, especially at my college, that they offer demonology courses. Did you take any coursework, or has it all been independent study?
independent study. There really hasn't been any formalized courses or formalized degrees in demonology until recently. You go, you study with mentors. You study under people who have worked in the field. There's a lot of people who write some great books. Most of them are Catholic priests, because obviously they are first and foremost in the spotlight when it comes to exorcism. They have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge. You study from them, learn from them, and it's mostly 90% on the job training.
Wow, that's incredible.
Hey, I'll be right back. One of my roommates is blaring his guitar right now.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys can hear it, but...
No, to kind of get started here, could you just kind of describe demonology for people that may not know anything about it? Like, I have a very limited knowledge about it. I just know it's the study of kind of demons and all of that, but how would you describe it from your point of view of what the whole area is?
Well, okay, from a Christian point of view, there's Christian demonology. It's the study of demons, basically where they came from, what they do, how they affect people, their structure, their hierarchy, who they answer to. A lot of this is taken directly from exorcisms,
Right.
getting the demons to talk and such. But there are biblical examples of talking about demons. You can kind of glean from that things that they do, who they are, what they are, where they came from, how long they've been around. I guess that's the sum of it.
And kind of how did you decide to get involved in demonology and the area of exorcisms? Is it an interest, or did you just find yourself in this field? I mean, I know you've said you've been with the Navy, but what made you kind of pick up this also?
Well, it isn't something you choose.
Right.
At least you shouldn't just go out and start going after a lot of this stuff, you'll get in trouble. It's a calling. It's through experience, life experience. I was from a young age hounded by demons, actual demons.
Really?
Jeez.
Taunted. It's stuff that I was exposed to, I guess, as a child. It opens you up to different things. But I think it was built. It's a calling. God's like, okay, you're going to get into this field eventually. And, it's mostly experiences. You find them, and you learn how to take authority. And then, through just being a Christian, living a Christian life, becoming disciplined and such, then time comes when, okay, let's do this.
Jeez.
And I don't know, it's just time. It's just time. When you start operating in the field itself. But yeah, on top of that, I guess it has been an interest. You start to study and try to figure out. I'm an intuitive person. I'm a very curious person, just by nature anyway. I wanted to learn, why are they attacking me? Who is this? What is this? How do I get rid of them?
Have you ever been in physical danger due to it?
I guess maybe suffocation at the most, but
jeez,
you just kind of get out of it, and you stop breathing for a while.
Oh my God, this sounds horrifying.
Did they like constrict your neck or pull the oxygen out of the air, or how does that work?
It's mostly they attack you when you're sleeping.
Oh, jeez.
When you're not ready, I guess. You're not. You're not going anywhere. You're a captive audience. So you just all of a sudden you just stop breathing, and you're fighting them, and you can't breathe. It's something you remember. That's for sure. But then I don't know. Just wake up. And God says this far, no further. He's not going to let him take my life.
Jeez, still terrifying.
A little bit. It's not pleasant.
I guess here's another good question. How would you describe demons to someone who didn't believe in them? Like, personally, I believe in them, and I don't know how you feel, Jacob, but if let's just say someone didn't believe in the paranormal at all or afterlife, how would you explain a demon?
I think it's hard to force somebody to believe in anything, to tell you the truth.
Right.
You can describe your experiences. You can give accounts of experiences that others have had that can't be explained. They're honestly awful. Get bad feelings. You feel hopeless, afraid. If you look into their eyes, it is the most fear that you will ever have. It just sucks everything out of the room, and you just want to run away.
Oh my God.
It's the deepest, darkest, horrible, fearful, just yuck.
So you've been able to physically see them in areas. How would you describe that? Like, what would they look like?
They take human form mostly. They know that if they take their true form, I don't know, they're not going to get as much done. They're not going to be able to suck you in. It's something familiar that draws you in. They took the form of my grandfather once. So
God.
It's calm, not calming, but you will approach them, and then you get close enough. It's like, oh my God, what? And then you're there. I don't know, their true form, that they could just take whatever form they want. Their spirit. I'm sure they do have forms.
And this just happens in your house? It could just be in the bedroom or in your kitchen or living room?
My house is blessed.
Okay. That's good.
No, they don't come here. No way.
So where does this normally happen?
Well, it did happen at other places. When I was in Oregon, In Montana, it happened a few times in my grandmother's house, mostly in my grandmother's house, actually. My house where I was growing up. Mm, yeah, I was early on in the Coast Guard. I was living on my own. They came to I don't know what they were trying to do, but there they were. And then just I don't know. I think I realized the authority that we have as Christians, as a representative of Christ, and they don't do that anymore. Once you realize you have that authority, that's it.
Really?
They'll bug you. Might taunt you every now and then. Get back at you for helping somebody get delivered or preaching something that's good or whatever. There's backlash. There always is. I don't know. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, no, that answered it.
Okay.
Jacob, do you have any other questions before I keep going?
I've kind of a random question, and sorry if you explained this while I was away for a sec, but
No worries.
and this might sound dumb, but what exactly is a demon? Is it like a fallen angel, or just the spirit of an evil human, or what exactly is a demon?
According to what I've studied and everything that I believe, it's fallen angels. They were the angels that followed Lucifer when he disobeyed.
Okay.
And,
So,
and
sorry, you can keep going.
no, go ahead.
I was going to ask, are there also like ghosts that you see that are from evil human beings, or do those exist as far as we know?
Wow, that's a hard question to answer. I would say no.
Okay.
From what I believe, okay, and from what I know and from what I've experienced, once you die, you either go to heaven or you go to hell. One of the two. I don't think he lets us linger around. I don't think
Right.
we have a choice once we die. But, there's, oh gosh. Okay, demons are very, very smart. They're very slick. I don't think you would know the difference between a human spirit and an evil spirit if they didn't want you to know. So I think, there's a lot of times when people think it's, my grandmother. I don't know what God allows half the time. Maybe he would allow somebody's grandmother to come back just to give them a word.
Right.
Or maybe it's an angel. I don't know. But most of the time in hauntings, people are freaked out. They're afraid. You have to look at what comes along with that haunting. Is there fear? Are there evil or terrible smells? What did they do to your dreams? A poltergeist type activity. It's all kind of negative. I tend to believe it's just a demon trying to make you believe something that isn't true, to deceive you and keep you off the path to look towards Christ. They want you to believe in something else. They want you to believe in, I'm going to say it, they want you to believe in UFOs. Okay.
One thing that I have read and watched about is like a lot of the times demons will take the form or spirit, or not spirits, but the form of like small children. Like if you hear children's laugh, that's like the common sign. Is that true?
It is.
That's
Very
terrifying.
often. Children are easy to approach, right?
Yes.
Draws you in. They seem innocent. A little bit. Yeah, that's the creepiest thing is when children. Oof, that just shouldn't happen.
Yeah, I'd be more shocked and like curious if a kid was in my house than like a grown man. I'd grab the gun and
Right.
like I would approach the kid and be like, "Why are you here?" or something like that.
Right. That's exactly what they want. They want you to interact with them. They want you to believe in them and let them in. And they have you. They have your will. They have your permission. Once they have your permission, it's over.
Is there Is there a way to draw them in? Like, let's say people believe that Ouija boards are a way to contact, or satanic rituals. Like, is that confirmed, like, as a way to get demons around you? Can that pull demons in?
Yeah, you bet. Absolutely. Any kind of contact that you're trying to make with the spiritual world, you'll get an answer, if not immediately, eventually. A lot of people play around with Ouija boards and nothing happens, which is true. And then that could be a ruse, saying, well, if it didn't happen this 6 times, nothing's ever going to happen. So let's just keep doing it. It's fun.
Right.
You know, we like to trick our friends or whatever. And you'll make contact. You're not going to like what comes through. Might be friendly at first, but its ultimate goal is to kill you.
Oh my god.
That's what they do.
Terrifying.
Have you
witnessed?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that too.
Yeah, dude, go for it.
Have you
witnessed?
Sorry, have you seen or witnessed like a corpse or someone being killed by a demon?
Or like a full possession?
Those are super, super rare, especially in the United States, because most people are too educated to believe in nonsense like that. It doesn't exist.
Right.
So a lot of people just aren't going to look after it, and it's very subtle.
Yeah.
You know, in other countries, they full on believe in this stuff, and you'll see it. I've seen video and through mentorship and such, I've seen actual possessions. It's frightening. It's awful. You know, the smells, God. Anyway, but it's super rare here in the U.S. But you will see people that are influenced by demons. They get that blank stare, and then it's just empty. It's nothing, and it's hard to get them to focus. And they'll start saying things that vulgar things, mostly revealing things that you'd rather not be revealed.
Have you ever like performed an exorcism?
Yes, deliverances. Mostly, I get a lot of Christians who believe they're demonized.
Really?
They're just so afraid of it, and they don't understand the authority that they have. So it's education. Sometimes they are demonized, and you know they get scratched or punched, or bruises end up on them. Just the 1,000-yard stare.
What are the signs? I know some people believe that like if you're scratched, there'll be 3 markings or 3 scratches. Are there signs of like maybe a demon is looking towards you or is trying to attract you?
Yeah, unknown scratches is a good clue. At least something's around. It sometimes happens in a group of 3, because it's a mocking of the Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Right.
To mock it. And you've also heard that 3 a.m. is the witching hour. You know, Christ was crucified at 3 p.m. or he died at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So they like opposite stuff. I know it seems kind of silly, but it happens.
Jeez.
Knocks on the wall. Things moving inexplicably. That's kind of weird. Doesn't usually happen.
Right.
You know, your chair shouldn't slide across the room on its own. Foul smells. If you smell like rotting flesh.
Oh God.
You know, rotten meat, sulfur, insect infestations. That's hard to say.
Really?
A whole bunch of flies or gnats or pestilence. That's awful. Mice, rodents. It doesn't mean that every insect there's a demon in your house.
Right.
You know, I'm not one that jumps immediately to any kind of conclusion. There's a process. You have to go through a process to verify if it is demonic
what you're
or not.
dealing with, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's silly just to automatically think that somebody's demonized if they can't stop swearing. You know,
right?
What would be your advice to someone who thinks they're demonized, but you say they aren't? Like, but they just can't shake the feeling. Like, what advice would you give them?
I would say, okay, there's a couple classes of folks. Okay, there are believers, those who have accepted Christ genuinely into their hearts,
Right.
and then there's those who have not. I just call them unbelievers, for lack of better terms.
Right.
Okay, the unbeliever has more of a chance of being possessed, taunted, hurt, attacked than would a believer. Because the believer is protected. They have that spiritual protection around them. Only certain things would happen to them, if anything. But how, for the unbeliever, geez. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
No.
There's so many things I want to say. I just don't know where to start. I'm trying to make this, just make it a summary here.
Yeah. Fine.
If they believe they're demonized, probably get spiritual counseling. Find somebody who actually believes that world exists. Unfortunately, the church, I hate to say this, may not be your best option. A lot of times the church doesn't believe that stuff can even happen to anybody.
Really?
That's I don't know what the calling, the ministry that I'm in, it is apart from an actual church. I'm an independent ministry. Because it's hard to find any group that would sponsor this ministry. I don't know what that, it's hard. Anyway, I'd find somebody that does believe in this, get their advice, maybe get some prayer, find out what you're doing that might be drawing that in. If you have tarot cards, any kind of occult type materials, you're drawing pentagrams on yourself, doing blood magic, that's kind of not the right thing to do. I don't know, I might get some psychological help too.
That was one thing I was going to ask. Was when we were growing up, there was a haunted woods not too far away, and when we would go out there'd be pentagrams on rocks, there would be pentagrams on trees. Is it possible that even if the woods itself was not haunted, if people came and performed rituals on the land, could that bring in dark spirits or dark energy?
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost a guarantee. Just gives them the authority to be there. And it's a place to dwell, a place to draw people in. It doesn't always happen all the time. There's a good chance. It depends on the intent of the person behind it. What are they doing? Right. Their faith. Do they believe? Are they truly serious about all this, or is it just a Halloween stunt?
Right.
I don't know. Even haunted houses around Halloween, they start reading through the Satanic Bible.
Oh God.
Start doing all that stuff, and then they wonder why they're getting attacked, thrown against the wall and scratched. And best bet is just to steer away from stuff like that if you don't want to get burned.
I want to go to one of those haunted houses.
I've
never been that afraid before. I'd like to,
Oh my God!
To get thrown up against the wall.
It'd be an experience for one day, I hope.
Yeah,
hope he doesn't latch on to me. Yeah.
Yeah, they will latch onto you. And again, their whole goal is to kill you. They don't care about you. They just want to make you die. Apart from Christ, apart from salvation, they want to make you disobedient and just take you.
I have heard
that is bleak.
Well, I know they can. I've heard they can latch on you. They can latch on you fairly easily if you allow it, and then they follow you around, don't they?
Yes, they do. Then they can attack family members, friends. They might even destroy everybody around you to make you miserable.
Oh my god.
Hopelessness is a good way to make you kill yourself. They want to make you hopeless, fearful, afraid. They'll give you power in the beginning if you ask for it. There's a lot of things that you could do. Wonderful feeling, but wow, it's not going to last.
Right. They just want to lure you. They just want to lure you in.
Yeah, you bet. It's the whole goal.
I guess, or do you believe personally, do you think that there are some mental illness diagnosis that may be misdiagnosed and maybe those individuals are actually being influenced by demons or
Sure, yeah, that happens. That's why there's a
terrifying.
process, in trying to figure out where all this is coming from. Some people, unfortunately, they're just mentally ill. It happens. These bodies don't last forever. Things happen.
Right.
But there does come a point when, I don't know, they start doing things beyond human abilities. They start telling you things that, say you never met this person, and they start telling you things that you did 10 years ago, or, revealing secrets, and
Sheesh.
that's a sign right there. Something spiritual is going on. So that might, okay, let's dig into that a little bit.
Right.
They can be super strong. Know languages that they've never learned. Start levitating. That's an odd behavior.
Oh.
That's an odd behavior. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not normal.
Nope, that's not normal. Walking up walls.
It's simply terrifying. I don't know. It's a whole new world. It's a whole new plane.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, there's. Go ahead.
So you've been mentioning like demons. Their goal is to kill us. Are there instances where humans can like make pacts with them and be protected in exchange for, like, I don't know, luring more souls to them, or like, is it possible to be on their good side?
Nope. They will kill you.
Okay.
There's no good side.
Gee.
They'll make you believe, sure. They'll preserve your life for a certain amount of time.
Okay.
But they will, just to use you. That's it.
Right.
If you're effective. But once you start getting cocky or start taking advantage of them, they don't stand for it very often.
You're just a tool to them.
You're a tool. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Gee.
So, as soon as they're done with you, it's over.
All right.
Are there notable demons that, like, I know in the Ouija world there's the Zozo demon. Are there demons that can, like, are there famous demons that have been known to mess with a lot of people that you know of?
I don't like saying their names.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Blaine, you shouldn't have said
Oh,
that. You're not supposed to say that one out loud.
Jeez.
It just, I don't publicize who they are, what they do, but yes. Oh, I'll answer by yes, there are.
Next question then, am I in danger right now?
No, I'd say no.
I
don't know. Let's see. No, I'm kidding.
Podcast part 2.
Blaine's exorcism.
Exorcism. These are all such good questions. Do you normally... Okay, so if an exorcism... Have you performed... You did say you performed semi-exorcisms, or... What'd you call it? Something with a D?
Deliverance.
Deliverance. Do those normally take place in, like, a church setting, or is that in a house of the person?
Wherever we can find that it's kind of away from the public. Looky-loos, people that... It's dangerous for other people, outsiders looking in. Demons jump. They go somewhere. They have to inhabit something or torment something. I don't know. You don't want them interested in anybody else, but you can sanctify a place, bless it, make it holy, so that it's protected spiritually,
And that's
you
what
can
you
do
do for your
whatever you
house.
want. Yeah, yeah. A dwelling, a house, it's usually pretty private. It's away from everybody, and usually don't have people in there that don't need to be in there. It's not a
Right.
spectator sport. You don't you don't
It's not
record
for
it. You
entertainment,
don't.
right?
Yeah, it's not. It's a very, very holy event.
Gee.
It's something that you have to take serious.
So, have you ever had? Well, let's just start off. What's the worst experience that you've witnessed as far as in this field? Could
Hmm.
be something that happened to you personally.
Well, screaming, yelling, um, person getting physically angry.
Mm-hmm.
That's frightening. You don't like to get beat up. That
Right.
happens though. Uh, just what I said, the eyes. I think looking into that emptiness and knowing that all that wants to do is reach out and strangle you.
That's terrifying. So, were you dreaming when that happened? Like, was this in a dream state, or were you fully awake and conscious?
Both. Yeah,
Gee.
yeah. Just depends on the situation. Yeah.
So, could that be? Is that what? Is that kind of like sleep paralysis? Is that maybe what people are experiencing as well during that?
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay.
You bet. A lot of times, sometimes it's just that you stop breathing. Um,
Gee.
you might cross over, see the other side, but a lot of times you'll see something awful.
Would you say
Uh,
sleep paralysis is like 100% like demonic, or are they two separate things?
I wouldn't say it's 100%. I think sometimes there are medical reasons why it happens.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I
Still
don't
terrifying.
discount. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, people, a lot of people, at least when they have sleep paralysis, they'll mention seeing like figures and what
Hmm.
they consider
Yeah, there's
demonic
always something in the
figures.
corner of their room or
Hmm.
something at
Hmm.
the end of the bed.
And it depends on if it's real to them. If it's like they are actually standing there and this is happening, I would say that was something spiritual.
Okay.
Something happened. But if it's just a
Hmm.
floating, oh, I think I remember doing, maybe it was medical. I don't know. You'll know
Right.
it, and when you wake up, you'll know it.
Okay.
Stays with you.
What would be like the normal routine to prepare for interacting or performing an exorcism? Like, do you have to bless yourself first so it doesn't attach to you, or how do you mentally prepare for like an encounter face to face?
Well, you definitely prepare yourself, and you got to prepare others. The other people that are going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
You do um, confess, repent, um, truly repent of your sins, turn away. Want to live a holy life. Um, a lot of times, you will prepare for a couple days or a few days for the event.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't always just happen right then and there.
Right.
So you have to mentally prepare yourself, spiritually prepare yourself. You spend time in prayer, quieting yourself. Just listening, wanting God to just be with you. It's His fight anyway. It's
Right.
not us. We're just the instrument,
Mm-hmm.
His physical hands, for the spiritual battle, trying to help this world. And then the other folks, you want to make sure that they have basically done the same thing. You give them absolution, as forgive their sins, and then they need to be in prayer as well. And then
Gee.
once you get to where you're going, you want to set up an altar, so to speak. Have a
Mhm.
crucifix, a candle. You bless the place, pray over the place, bless it with holy water. maybe anoint the doorpost with oil, and you might sing some hymns. I don't know. It's just worship.
Right.
You come to God in worship, and just know that He's all powerful, and this fight is already won. We just need to get Him out of there.
Can you feel?
Because we are fighting. Go ahead.
Like when you enter these places, or even if it's just something that you're facing, can you feel the energy in the room kind of change?
Mm-hmm.
You can.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. It's, you know, and that's another thing too. It can affect the temperature of the room, the physical temperature. It could either drop 10, 15 degrees.
Oh my
It'll
God.
get just really chilly, or it'll get super hot. Or it's just an awful sick feeling. You might smell, you know, like we were talking about earlier, rotten meat, sulfur, nastiness. I don't know. But then all of a sudden it just peace. You just feel it change.
Just goes away.
It's kind of amazing. Yeah, it is hard to explain. It's really difficult, unless you've really been there or done it.
Right.
You know, words just don't do it justice.
Does it bug you?
No, go ahead.
But does it bug you when like people will sensationalize like ghost hunting, and just they'll bring like devices and stuff that'll allow them to hear static? To me, it seems like total bullcrap. To you, I'd like to know your opinion.
It's playing with fire is what it's doing.
Right.
It's funny. I do watch ghost hunting shows, but I end up yelling at them. I'm like, "You're stupid! What are you doing? You know, that's just so stupid."
Right.
Start playing with a Ouija board to try and contact them. I'm like, "God, what are you doing?"
Yeah, from your point of view, I'd probably wonder why they aren't dead by now. Because they taunt them like crazy. They say the dumbest things.
Right. And you know, Ghost Adventures,
right?
That whole team. They're I think the most famous ones now. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
They're up there. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Nick was attacked quite a bit, and his family just couldn't take it anymore. I don't know. He left the show, I think, for artistic differences too.
Yeah.
Oh my
gosh.
Yeah. That's what they say.
Yeah.
But he got attacked quite a bit.
Well, I think he also had a newborn, and I think he was worried for her.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I forgot about that. And
I didn't know that.
They went through a bunch of crap, and Zach I don't know why he's not dead. I really don't.
He has a haunted museum now in Vegas, and he has all these kinds of artifacts, and apparently that museum is terribly haunted.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I can't wait to go see it, you know.
Just harboring all this dark energy.
Can they attach to objects?
I think they can, yeah.
Yeah.
Familiar objects. Something that's been cursed. Because I know in the church you can have blessed objects.
Okay.
You know, why can't you have... Yeah. Yeah, they're not magic charms or anything else, but nothing like that. The thing itself doesn't have power. I think it's mostly the faith behind it and believing what it is. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. It's just
okay.
It's surreal talking about it.
It is, yeah. It's hard for somebody that doesn't even believe in any kind of spiritual world to take it in and to listen. You know, they're probably shaking their head. It's a bunch of bull crap. You know, they need psychological help, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But until you do experience it.
Yeah, I feel like if I saw an exorcism happen or even a possession happen, I would probably become a born again Christian, because that's all the proof I need.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's the side you want to be on.
Right.
You know, if you know there is that side, you know that there's a good, there's an opposite, yin and yang.
Yeah. So, what's your opinion on ghosts or maybe poltergeists. Some people think that they have poltergeists in their house. Are you saying that like there are no such things as ghosts? They're all bad entities. They're all demons.
That's
You
what I
said
tend to
earlier.
believe.
You don't think we really linger around after we're gone.
Right, and that's any kind of evidence that I know and have experienced.
Sure.
That's I don't believe that human spirits linger around anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see the other side. I don't know for sure. I just have to go by experience.
This might be an odd question, but are demons like finite? Or are there a finite amount of demons, or are angels and demons like constantly created like humans? Or born?
I think they are what they are now.
Okay.
As many as there are, there's going to be that many.
Okay.
I don't know unless there are still angels choosing to disobey. They do have free will, after all.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess they could. That's a good question. I might want to check that out. I think I'm going to study that a little bit. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Huh.
What would be advice that you would give to maybe kids that do get intrigued into the Ouija boards or the cults? Well, I mean, obviously to stay away from it, but do you think that that's a growing like problem in today's generation?
Yeah. Spiritualism is in the spiritual world is gaining some traction. And I think social media has a lot to do with that, and TV, some of the shows that are on there. So people have a natural curiosity anyway. There's something there. People know there's something else there, whether they want to admit it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a lack of better terms, an ignorance of what you're talking to and talking about. I'd say get educated on what's there. There's a lot of resources out there. Don't believe everything on the web. Just don't. I would say find reputable authors. Read about stuff that they've experienced and what they believe is there. I wouldn't just jump right into it and start calling on spirits, because it's a good chance you're going to pick up the evil side of things before anything else. Just be careful. Be very careful.
Did you have a question, Jacob?
Not really. I just had kind of a closing question, but we can save that if you want to keep going.
Yeah. I'm just kind of curious. Were there always mentions of like have demons been around since the beginning of the human time? Like did they exist during biblical times? Have they always been influencers?
Yeah, I think they were around before we were. If you look back to one of the earliest mentions of, Adam and Eve, obviously, they were tempted to disobey God. It's kind of an indicator that they were already there. They've been around. I don't know for how long.
Right.
I don't know. There is no. This is something heavy to think about. There is no beginning and there is no end of time. It's eternity. We're. I don't know. Wow, that blows my mind.
No, you're right though.
I don't know how long they've been around, but they're smart, super smart.
It's incredible that they've never. So demons were never human. They've only been angels. They were fallen.
Right. I believe that 100%.
So, when they interact with our Earth, do they know how our daily lives function? Do you think they adapt and learn to our schedules and like?
Oh, they know it.
Really?
Yeah, like I said, they're super smart. They know us inside and out. They know how to press our buttons, and they're in for the long game. A lot of times they'll plan and start working on a person early in life for their fall 20 years from now.
Yeah, since they've been around for eternity, I feel like 20 years is nothing to them.
Yeah, time is, they don't understand time. There's no time for them.
Wow,
There's,
that's true.
Birth and death of humans. That's their only measure of time, I think. They are in eternity after all.
Jeez.
Unfortunately, their eternity isn't going to be very nice.
Yeah. Well,
It's coming. Their end is coming. "Quote unquote" end.
yeah. Right.
The end of their influence on God's creation. It's awful.
It's a lot to process, honestly.
It is. It is. And it's so much more than just an hour show.
Right, of course. No, this could be an entire subject of the podcast. I mean, there's podcasts about just this, so.
Sure, yeah. And that last one I was on, they love it. And it's something they never dug into either. It's gaining popularity.
Right.
People are getting interested.
What's your thoughts on maybe like popular movies right now, like The Exorcist, The Conjuring, there's Insidious? Do you think that those movies are, what's your thoughts?
Hollywood does an excellent job in their research. And they do sensationalize and tweak things a little bit to make it look better. Exorcisms aren't typically like what they show.
Mm-hmm.
They're so much more sensationalized in Hollywood. But there's a real, I think, a danger in really piquing somebody's interest.
Right.
And they're starting to practice some of the stuff that they see. They see power. They see, it's intriguing. It's neat. Sure, I could cast a spell and somebody will do whatever, It's
Well, we fell into that a little bit in high school. We used to go on ghost hunting adventures, and we went to that haunted woods.
Yeah, it happens.
It's a popular thing.
Yeah, it happens. But these movies are getting so much more real, and they do practice the words and stuff, and the actions of an actual spell are done in movies and TV a lot nowadays. I think there's a new Netflix series, I won't mention its name, that is super real in the Wiccan realm.
Oh, I think I know what that is.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name, but
blah 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 blah.
Yeah. But it's...
I'm not going to promote it. But,
yeah.
Actually, I just did, didn't I?
Well, we didn't say the name, so they can guess.
Jacob, what was your question?
I kind of forgot it. It might come back to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've answered all the questions that we sent to you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So I was just looking over them real quick just to make sure.
Oh, yeah. Here's a little quick one. What would be your advice to individuals who believe that they have demons or around them personally or maybe in their home? What's the first kind of starting steps?
I would get somebody who believes in what they are. I would say somebody that's grounded in a Christian church. Not because there's a lot of folks out there who are in the occult who say they can exorcise houses and demons and such. Devil can't exorcise himself, basically. What I experienced. They're just inviting trouble. They might be gone for a while, but they're coming back.
Right, yeah.
Unless it's gone. But I would say find somebody grounded in the church, Christian church.
And I know there's some people there's businesses online where they'll say, oh yeah, we can come check out your house to see if it's haunted or we can bless it for you. You're saying to stay in the faith, stay with the actual professionals.
Somebody in the faith,
the
Christian faith. There's a lot of people online. Sure, I'm sure they're credible. They can do what they say they do. Just be careful.
You're right.
Be careful who you turn to.
I mean, it's
Always educate yourself too. Never go into anything blindly.
well. Have you noticed maybe once you started studying, like let's say someone listens to this and they decide to go into demonology? Did you notice that you were picking up on stuff more? Were you more sensitive to just
Oh,
everyday life?
sure. Yeah, that's, I think, a lot of medical students, they become hypochondriacs. I think,
Mm,
it's kind of
yeah.
like demonology students. Oh my gosh, you're seeing it everywhere now. But you do start picking up on more and more things. But I think a good, solid education and learning about things is key. You
Mm,
need to know. You can't just be slinging phrases that you have no knowledge where they came from.
right.
Um, there's sons of Sceva in Scripture. They went out um, trying to cast out demons in Jesus' name, and demons turned around and they're like, Jesus I know, and Paul I know, but I don't know who you are. And they beat the crap out
That's
of them.
it's terrifying.
The person has to know Christ and be filled when you're battling demons. It's just spiritual war. This
Well, and I know they
things that
said. Oh, keep going.
things that manifest in the spiritual realm um, have an origin in the spiritual realm.
Mm-hmm.
They play on each other, and this is a spiritual battle. It really is.
Well, and one thing that I heard was that kids and babies, and sometimes even animals, they can see entities or spirits when we can't. Do you know if that's a verifiable? Is that true?
Well, yeah, first-hand knowledge of that. Yeah.
Really?
Um, there was a family that talking to their 3-year-old was tormented by an invisible friend that attached itself to him. He saw it all the time, scared the crap out of him all the time, and was keeping him up and hurting him. And so went over there. The family's believers, and we got rid of it. And he'd just fly into a blind rage at a
Oh my
moment's
god.
notice and start throwing tables and just chairs and hitting people.
Table?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
Horrible.
yeah, we got rid of that. But they're really
horrifying.
super susceptible to the spiritual world because they're a blank canvas.
Right.
They'll believe what you say. That true faith, that childlike faith that Christ wants us to have. Just believe.
Would you? Okay, so say like a Buddhist gets possessed or like a demon attaches themselves to a Buddhist. Would they have to go get help from a Christian, or are there like universal methods to take care of a demon?
A lot of teachings out there that there are universal methods, and some claim that it actually works. They say it does. Sometimes they show that it does. Maybe the demon just leaves them to deceive. I don't know. I would say seek Christian help.
Okay.
There's two forces. There's good and evil.
Right.
I believe, the one true God, the one that I serve, and then the enemy. I wouldn't mess around with anybody else. Any false teachings or, you just have to look at their religion, what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know. Sometimes the Muslims, they have effective ways sometimes of exorcisms, but then again, they believe in the same God that I do.
Yeah.
In a sense, but it diverges at a point.
Right.
The real one Abba Father, but they don't believe that our Christ is the Savior, such and such. So I think I've actually seen exorcisms that worked from Muslims,
Really?
but the way they their chant was, or their gosh, I can't think of the word, their method, what they say to drive them out. It's in line with what a Christian would say.
Okay.
And I think that's why it worked.
So there must be some type of universal way to put it. But yeah, no, I think you've answered all of my questions. So unless you remembered your last one, Jacob.
I did actually. So
okay.
Have you read the book The Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah,
It was a little while ago, but yes.
Yeah, I read it in middle school. I just wanted to know. I was curious. It's a really
that was the last question.
Well, I mean, it was kind of off topic. I didn't want to bring up in the middle.
No, I mean C.S. Lewis. He was a believer, and they were analogies of a Christian life. It's really good.
Yeah, for the listeners who don't know, it's if I remember correctly, it was written in the point of view of a demon, and he's writing letters, guiding a lesser demon on how to possess people. So it's pretty relevant.
Yeah. Okay, I'm mixing up Pilgrim's Progress too. I'm thinking of that one too. But yeah, I think you're right. Right. Let's see. I love Pilgrim's Progress. Just to let you know.
Is that also C.S. Lewis? I haven't read that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, that's from the point of view of a Christian.
Huh.
Yeah. Demon Screw Tape Letters. Yeah, I think it was in the. You're right. Good book though. It's a good book.
Well, I mean, we'll let you get to the Easter dinner, and it's kind of funny that we were doing this on Easter, but it is a subject that I think more people need to be tuned in for. It's definitely on the rise.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when Christ rose from the dead, that was the end of Satan's rule on earth and everything. That was the final nail in his coffin. Christ conquered death on Easter, and that's it. That's it.
So maybe it is kind of cool that we're doing it on Easter.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
I actually posted a story today on my website, hauntedsoul.org, that deals with that Easter and spiritual warfare.
There we go. Perfect. So yeah, make sure everyone is listening to check that out, and we'll have you send over all the links, and we'll put them in the video bio, and everyone can check him out down below. Check out his work. It's incredible stuff. So
yeah.
Thank you for coming on again. It's been teaching us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Everyone, we wish you a happy Easter or Passover. And yeah, thank you for listening to the Cosmic Closet podcast. And if do you have anything you'd like to shout out for the listeners or draw attention to?
Just have a blessed Easter. Remember what today's all about.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you again for coming on. It's been great.
Sure thing. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Yep. Thank you, everyone.